Okay, in this video we're going to discuss how to construct tangents, which is something that we learned in this chapter. So for this first one, we consider the case where we want to construct a tangent line with a circle O and a point A that is actually on the circle. So here are some steps that we can do to achieve this construction. So first step is create circle O and identify the point of tangency. Okay, we did that. Next is to create line OA. So I'm going to do a line segment, but from the center of the circle to that point A. Okay, and then it said create a circle around A with points of intersection B and C with OA. And actually, so this actually does need to be a line, and I'm going to extend this so that we can create this circle. Okay, and next I need to make a circle, so I get out my compass and I make a circle centered at O, so I place the non-marking end at A and I create a circle using the compass of any radius. You can pick the radius. And then let's redo that. That doesn't look quite right to me. So centered at O, circle. Okay, great. And then I identify the points A and B, or B and C. So this is going to be point B, and this is going to be point C. Well, down there, you get the point. And then from B and C, we want to create arcs and find the points of intersections of those arcs. So I'm going to make that arc. So here, the idea is I'm finding that second point that is on my tangent line. So to do that, I'm going to do this something like this, and I'm going to make a nice old arc. Move to my other point with my non-marking end, adjust slightly, and then make a mark. And move that out of the way. And so the intersection of these two arcs is that other point that I was interested in. So from A to this point, and now I'm going to extend that line through. And I have just created my tangent line through A a tangent line that passes through A to circle O. Okay. Next one. Now this next one we consider the case when we have a point that is not on the circle of interest, and so we want to create a tangent line that passes through P and is tangent to O. So first thing is really just to make a line segment that extends from O through P. Okay, and so I'll make note of that down here. So create line OP. Alright, next we're going to want to determine the midpoint of M. Why? Because it's going to allow us to make a circle that will eventually allow us to determine the points of tangency. So to determine the midpoint, I need my compass again. Okay, my compass. To determine the midpoint, I need to make an arc from each side that is greater than the midpoint, so some arc. We're going to say something like this. And then I do the same thing from P. And then the intersection points of the arc form the perpendicular bisector. So it is perpendicular, but it also gives us the midpoint. So construct a line segment through those two. Okay, and so this is the intersection point. This is M, the midpoint. So I'm going to say create line OP. Second thing we want to do was to find the midpoint of OP of, I'll say, line segment OP, or by making a perpendicular bisector. Okay. Third, well, we have the midpoint. So now I want to create a circle centered at the midpoint. Okay, and we want the radius to actually be OP. So let me adjust this a little bit here. Okay. So there's my radius, and then I go ahead and make a circle. Move that out of the way. And now this, let's see, so make circle centered at M with radius MP or OM, either one. And now these points where that the circle intersects the circle of O at are the points where we have tangent lines. So this line segment and this one are both tangent lines tangent lines to the circle O that pass through P. And if we want, we can extend those a little bit. Like so, and like so. Okay, and then so the last step, 4, was to connect P to points of intersection with circle points of intersection for circle M and circle O. Okay, and I'll note also that these are the points of tangency. Okay, so in this section, or in this video, we talked about how to construct a tangent line if we knew the point on a circle that it was tangent at, and also if we knew a point that was on the tangent line, but we did not know the point or points at which it was tangent on the circle to. Okay?